online. Everything's white. It's all impeccably appointed. Everything is white in this house. There's like white plaster and stark white furniture and everything, you know.
Yeah, the kids probably aren't allowed in those rooms. They probably have like sectioned off areas for the kids that are gigantic still.
What a way to grow up. You think
right?
Like your house is like a museum.
We kind of had a room like that.
Did you?
Yeah, we had a
You
room.
weren't allowed in the room?
I mean, it wasn't like we were allowed in it, but we had to be on our best behavior in there.
And what was in that room?
It was just a front living, like we had a living room that we used with like the TV and everything, and then we had one that just had like a fireplace and a couple couches in the front room.
It was like a sitting room.
It was like a sitting room, and we weren't allowed to run around or play in there, really.
Your parents were the Kim and Kanye of Medina.
I mean, we still did.
Oh, you did?
I mean, we weren't supposed to, but we did.
I mean, beyond this house being staged, obviously, for Architectural Digest, it doesn't change what's in the house.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, why do you have 4 kids in this house? I mean, a lot of this house would have to be cordoned off. Now, I imagine it's a massive house.
Yeah, it's probably got like 4 or 5 bedrooms.
And from what I'm reading, 1.5 bathrooms.
Which bath is a lifesaver.
How? They said everything we do is an art installation and a playroom. That has to be categorically false.
That's so not true.
It can't be true.
That doesn't make sense. They don't know what. Maybe they don't let their kids play like other kids. I don't know. It's very strange. The rich people just have no idea how regular people are.
Well, you don't have to. I mean, everybody's situation is relative. So if I'm super wealthy, who cares how regular people are living? I'm going to live the way I want to live. But I also have 4 children.
They probably also renovate those rooms constantly.
You think?
Yeah, because they're always upgrading to like the newest style. You're not leaving stuff. My mom would buy a couch. My parents would, and that was our couch for 25 years.
Right. You'd replace it when it started to fall apart.
Right. Kim's replacing her couch every season because she can.
Yeah, by the way, Bill is not alone with having a house that, having a room in the house that no one goes in. Every black household has one of those.
Well, I mean, we had a room in our, I guess one of the front rooms of our house was a room that we just didn't use that often, so it didn't get much traffic. But it wasn't like it was off limits
my mom
to
said,
us.
Don't let me catch a black ass on my couch in there. And the front room, nobody went in. It was only for company. Like
it was like the company room.
If Obama stopped by, we have a room specific. We have dishes for Obama. We have cups for Obama. Like no one goes into the room. That's Obama's room.
Your mom was planning for Obama when you were a kid?
An Obama-like guest. It better be damn near Jesus coming into that room because she's not gonna open up that room just for anybody.
So you were not allowed to go in that room.
No, and if she catch you in there, she'll get the switch. She
said, "Get the hell out of this room."
Yes.
Because what were you going to do? She didn't trust you guys to not wreck the room?
Oh, we would have wrecked the room, totally. We would have.
And to him, I like it was like, oh my God, he loves it because he doesn't really like anything.
That's my specialty, not liking stuff.
So
I don't like him.
I knew that it was going to be our dream home and that he was going to fully redo it and it was going to be likable.
Going to be likable.
They live in
you go.
They live in Hidden Hills, by the way.
Where they make the salad dressing?
That's Hidden Valley, Bill. Yeah. They have a ranch out in Hidden Valley. That's why everything's white in this house.
All you gotta do is type in Kanye's house into Google and it should pop up.
Well, like I said, there was a walkthrough on Architectural Digest website, but I was just fascinated because one of the photos obviously is them with their kids. But everything else in this house is white.
Well, I'm really fascinated. I'm really actually kind of surprised that they did this because Kim has been very private about her, material things and like her homes and stuff like that ever since she got robbed.
But still, I do love this notion that Kanye is some kind of design genius. Because they get a designer to come in and do everything. So what is he doing? All he's going is, I like that, I don't like that.
He knows what's chic and how it all flows together. But this house looks like a damn mall. Like, there's all the other houses.
That's what I'm saying. You got 4 kids in there.
In this little development, and then you see their house. It looks like Oprah's house. I'm like, this is ridiculous. You got $200 million people living in the same house.
I thought they were last time I had Kathy Griffin on the show, she said that they were her neighbors.
That's their old house. That was before they built this one.
Oh, okay. I'm going to talk to Whitney Cummings here in a few minutes. She's doing a show at the Agora. Her How Dare You tour is doing about a dozen or so dates, one of which is going to be on the 25th of April here in Cleveland. I feel like it's been a minute since she's done a live show here. If you're listening to the show on iHeartRadio from outside of Ohio, tell me where you do that. We'll put you on the map of bureau chiefs. AJ is a new bureau chief in San Francisco. We already have a bunch of people there, so I don't have to put a new pin up. Dan is in Burgettstown outside Pittsburgh. Mary is in D.C. Trying to think of the last actual pin I put up. Manny is in Mama, Florida.
Mama.
He told me how to pronounce that, and I'm still not doing it correctly.
Like
Mama? Why Mama?
Why Mama?
Is that a palindrome? Is that a palindrome?
No, I think
Polygon?
that's an
What did he call
Outkast
it?
Song.
A polygram is what Poundcake called it.
Parallelogram?
Or
No, you called
Tupac.
it a polygram.
A polygram, yeah.
Hologram or
So I've
something.
been wrong before.
Yes. What?
That's
You-
shocking.
Come on, man. Don't be so hard on yourself. Don't try to convince me that you've been wrong before. If anybody around here has been wrong before, it's me.
Okay.
I was wrong once.
Hiring me?
It's when I told you were wrong. That was the time I was wrong.
You also just slight inception to me. I have to catch up.
Huh?
You just inception to me. I was trying to put that together in my head, but I'm a little slow.
See? Bill, he's hard on himself.
Yeah, he is. He thinks his brain's kind of a dud.
Oh! It's a polygram. I already know.
It's a palindrome.
A palindrome.
Yeah, there you go.
Good. Got it. See, I got it, though.
He's part of the IQ is too damn high party.
When you eat, though, do you get worried that you get food on your clothes?
No.
Okay, because if you did, you could wear a bib.
Yeah. All right.
Noon.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, these are all words that
I like how simple ones really are the best ones.
and he's proud of himself for arriving at them.
But I'm saying they've always been there. I just never known. It's just like you learn something new every day. Like that's all. It's always been noon. But
And
I
yet
never
you still
knew
don't know what they're called.
Palindrome.
Palindrome. He's still
palindrome.
He's still thinking polygram. Got $1,000 here for you. A chance for you to go fund yourself every hour, and it has come back around like clockwork. Good luck.
Hey, it's Rover. Go fund yourself. We have your shot at $1,000 now. Text the nationwide keyword DIG to the number 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info, standard data, and message rate supply in this nationwide contest. That's DIG to 200-200. Good luck and go fund yourself from 100.7 WMMS.
More than 6 but fewer than 10 minutes with somebody on the phone.
More than 6 but fewer than 10 minutes with Whitney Cummings. She is on the road. Her How Dare You tour starts in a couple of weeks. She'll start in Detroit, and then she'll traverse these United States. April the 25th, she'll be here to do a show at the Agora. Hey.
How are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Whitney? I worry about you.
Why?
I don't know. I worry about you. How you feeling?
Oh my good. I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
I mean, don't misunderstand me. I don't lie awake at night worrying about you, but when I think about you, I hope you're doing well.
I appreciate that so much. I feel like when you're a comedian and a writer, you sort of reveal all your deepest, darkest secrets and mistakes to everyone. So I get why you'd be worried.
It's also an odd thing, too, because even when you're being candid and even when you're being vulnerable, people in their brains go, that's for comedy. So it's like, so there's a certain patina that you develop over yourself just to perform. But on the other hand, people go, she's making it all up.
You never really know what's a joke and what's not and what's real. I think it's our job as comedians to be honest and authentic and raw and to say things that no one else has the, courage to say. And but sometimes, people do come up to me in airports and they're like, "Are you all right?" I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. But I'm like, "Oh, you probably watched my last special."
I was thinking about you too with the when Whitney was still on. I remember because I was thinking about this during the Super Bowl when you guys did that Brotherhood of Man promo for the Super Bowl.
Oh, gosh, I don't even remember that.
Where you guys all sang that Broadway song. It was like a cross-promote across all the NBC shows. So they would have 30 Rock, and then they cut to you guys, and you're all doing this, I mean, each show in short clips, but you and D'Elia were in it. And I was like, I forgot all about that. It was this big, long, choreographed piece for the Super Bowl for NBC that year.
Oh, my gosh. I think I remember that now. This is wild. Yes. Wow. I had blocked all of this out.
And after seeing it, I understand why. Because, I mean, you know, mercifully, you guys were in it for a couple of seconds, but it probably wasn't something that you felt awesome about doing.
It was like a choreographed dance with a bunch of different TV shows. Yeah, I mean, look, you know, when you're a comedian and you get to get up and you get to say exactly what you want, you know, but when you're on a network, you have to do what they ask you to do, and you've got to tap dance, and you have to say things you don't want to say, or you're not allowed to say things you do want to say, which is why I love doing specials and touring, because, you know, especially now with how there's, you know, everyone gets offended by everything these days, it seems like. It's nice to be able to just be on Netflix and, you know, be doing stand-up where, you know, because I think most people, Americans, they just want to laugh. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're not going to get outraged by it. They know what a joke is. They can take a joke. They have a sense of humor.
Well, let me ask you this, because, you know, there's a lot of comics now are ambivalent about colleges. You know, if you talk to people who can kind of pick and choose what they definitely do and don't want to do, guys like Seinfeld and Chris Rock, they'll be like, no, I'm not doing colleges anymore because I don't need to, or it's a pain in the ass. And again, I don't know how often you're even asked to do colleges, but are you somebody who is still kind of glass half full when it comes to those kinds of venues?
Yeah, I love doing colleges. I don't ever blame audiences for anything. You know, I mean, our job is to show up and have a bunch of different material that works. If it doesn't work, you move on to something else. But you're supposed to have a couple little, you know, tricks in the bag in case something doesn't go well. But I think for the most part, people really want to laugh. I stay away from politics entirely. I almost called this tour the No Politics, I Promise tour.
Yeah. Just
so people knew coming in that they weren't going to have to deal with, you know, all day on Twitter, all day on Facebook, people have to deal with politics. So I just wanted to really create a place that was actually conducive to comedy, like, where I'm not telling people how to vote or lecturing them on how to, you know, live their lives and what to believe politically. So I tend to not go into that area. You know, and if someone's offended by something or if something doesn't go well, you just call it out. And you're like, why was that offensive? What's going, and you just got to get through it. You know, I come from doing the roasts where you would say the most shocking, offensive thing on the planet. And that was the point. The point was to shock people and surprise people and say something that no one else would say. So that's what I come from, and I'll never stop doing that.
Not only that, but we're also kind of at the point now where even as talented and creative as Whitney Cummings is, it seems almost impossible to make real life more absurd.
It's so true. It's very true. Where you'll write something outrageous, and then something even more outrageous will happen in real life in the news, and you're like, oof. So you got to just go back to basics. Comedians have always had to evolve. We've always had to react to what was going on, and I think that a lot of people don't understand. Like, when people get outraged by something, it just makes the subject funnier because there's more tension and taboo around it. You know, comedians, we play in the area of what's off limits. So the more things you make off limits, the more you're giving us to joke about. You know, so we're fine. we're like, this is great. Keep freaking out. Like, you'll just give us more punchlines.
Sure. I heard you say a long time ago that Paul Reiser was one of your favorite comics, and I was so happy I had him in here not long ago, and he was always one of mine. And even as successful as Reiser was, I felt like he still was underrated in like the pantheon of comics for what he did kind of at the time, because he was kind of coming up with Seinfeld, and Paul Reiser kind of got I feel like pigeonholed as maybe like a sitcom guy for a while, but I love Paul Reiser.
That's a really good point. I think that, you know, it was like Mad About You was such a big show and was such a big deal. But yeah, I guess Seinfeld happened, and it's just, he did, and it kind of went away. You know, he sort of, you know, like, which I think is probably healthy. He probably went and, you know, spent time with his family and had a real life. And, you know, but I feel like he's having this really cool, like, resurgence. Like, he was in what show was he in? Not Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Or
he's in everything. He does all this dramatic stuff, and he's
Fosse Verdon.
Yeah.
he like pops up in little shows, and he's doing a reboot of Mad About You now, which is so freaking cool. So I feel like he's starting to kind of, I think that's the way to do it. I think to have success and go away and live your life so that when you do come back, you have something to write about. For art to imitate life, you have to have a life. And some of us work so much that we don't even have anything to joke anymore. That's why comedians have so many airplane jokes, because we spend our lives in airports.
Yeah.
That's all we see. So you got to go out in the world. You got to go make mistakes. You got to go to some baby showers, so that you can have stories to bring to your audience.
I know that you want to go out and be creative and work and do what you want to do, but are you more creatively freed on the financial side because Two Broke Girls is in syndication?
The days of crazy syndication money are kind of gone. But I do okay. I work really, really hard. I'm grateful that show did well so that I can, focus on stand-up and, I can tour and I can, talk to you at, a touring comedian. Our hours can be very, very, crazy. And I like that, I'm coming to Cleveland, but I'm going to come in a couple days early and drive around and hang out in the city. Like, I get to sort of, have days off and enjoy the travel I do and do it well. I think that's really what I get from it.
Whitney Cummings' How Dare You tour is on the road. She'll be here to play the Agora on April the 25th. It'll be packed to the rafters, no doubt.
Can't wait.
With people
Can't
who
wait.
are
I've never
pleased to see
performed
you.
there before.
It's a great venue.
Haven't been there in ages. And I've never done the Agora, and all the comics say it's one of the best venues in the country.
It's fantastic. You'll have a great time. I appreciate you getting up early, and I'm always happy to hear that you're doing well, Whitney.
Okay, thank you so much, Alan.
More than 6 but fewer than 10 minutes with somebody on the phone.
There's Whitney Cummings. You can hear her stuff on iHeartRadio. Those tickets are on sale if you go to agoracleveland.com. Every Wednesday, her podcast is called Good For You. You can hear that, too, if you want to see what else she's doing. I'm going to break here. I'm going to have those Chris Tucker tickets for you. He's doing a show this Friday night out at the MGM Northfield Park if you want to check out his live show. 35192 to text me for anything else, or hit us up, alancoxshow.com.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS and everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app.